Hello my friends and fellow travelers, my name is Pierce and this is my channel Tales from the Road. Thanks so much for stopping by. Because you clicked on this video, we're obviously going to talk about the beautiful Southeastern Asian nation of Cambodia. While not as well traveled as Thailand to its west and Vietnam to its east, Cambodia is a gem with so much to discover and so much under the surface, often slept on but definitely shouldn't be skipped. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before you go, so stick around and let's get Khmer. So as we always do with these videos, we're going to start with a little historical and geographic context so you can get to know the place you're traveling to a bit better. Cambodian history is long and complex, but there are a couple things as a traveler that would be helpful to know so you can better unpack the country that you're visiting. Number one is that Cambodian culture and history goes back a long time. You're probably going to visit the Angkor Wat, which is easily one of the wonders of the world, a beautiful archaeological gem, and the Angkor Wat sits on the old city of Angkor, which used to be one of the largest cities in the world in ancient times. This was a place of historical trade, of spirituality, of religion, and of society building. And you can see the remnants of that when you visit, which is extra cool. The second thing that you'll notice when you go to Cambodia is that there is an overt French influence from the Indochina times, where French colonialism conquered Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, and they organized it as a colony for a little bit over 150 years. That means that in Cambodian modern society, while you won't see so much French happening, you will see little things that are connected to the French, such as the Cambodians' love of bread. Lastly, and the most important thing to know when you go to Cambodia, is that they experienced a terrible genocide in the 1970s. Following the model of communist China and communist Vietnam to the east, the Cambodians had maybe the most serious communist overthrow of a government and the most brutal dictatorship that Southeast Asia has seen since. During that time, there was a large ethnic cleansing of people, and you can still feel the presence of that today, as when you go around Cambodia, you notice that there are not many people over 55, as many people were murdered or displaced during the 70s. While the scars of that time are starting to heal very slowly, Cambodia is not left without the trauma from that period. You'll notice the culture is a bit more skeptical of foreigners and is not as outwardly as friendly as the cultures found in Vietnam and in Thailand. It doesn't mean that interacting with Cambodians is negative in any way, it's just not as overtly friendly as its neighbors. That being said, modern Cambodia is rebuilding itself, it is becoming a modern Southeast Asian nation, and it has so much beautiful things to offer. So, let's talk about them in the practical section. So to start off, let's talk money. Cambodians use a currency called the riel, and it's 4,000 riel equals $1. The thing that's particular about Cambodia is that they both use US dollars as a hard currency, as they lost a lot of faith in their currency quite a while ago, and riel. While you can pay in riel and you can receive money back in riel, you can also pay in dollars, but you probably will not receive change in dollars. It seems that Cambodians actually prefer to be paid in dollars, and so even on menus or anywhere you go in the majority of the country, you'll just see dollars like on menus or on excursions or whatever. So you can pay in dollars or you can multiply it by 4,000 and pay in riel, whatever you really want to do. I would probably just carry dollars and then try to spend all your riels before you leave the country, as they basically are worthless outside of Cambodia. So now that you know the money situation, let's talk about visas. Cambodia is a particular country in Southeast Asia for American travelers, as you need a visa on arrival to enter. With the typical visa on arrival, you get 30 days and you can enter either through a land border, a sea border, or you can of course come by plane to the capital city, Phnom Penh. The land border crossing is really not super complicated, but a little bit sketchy. Coming from Thailand, Laos, or Vietnam, you're going to take a bus, it's going to stop at a border. At the border, you're going to get out, you're going to present your passport to get stamped out of whatever country you're in. You're also going to have cash on hand, probably dollars, so that you can pay for the visa at the border. The last time I did this, it was $40, although please make sure to check visa regulations, as these prices may change. Someone is going to come on your bus. You're going to hand over your passport, your cash, you're going to get off the bus. You're going to walk across the border, you're going to find your passport stamped with a visa on it at the border station, hop back on the bus, and then proceed in Cambodia. It's really easy. It's the only visa in the world I've ever seen that's also handwritten, so that's kind of cool. And it's pretty faultless unless you don't have cash. So remember, please, please, please bring cash. The cool part about visas in Southeast Asia is that they have a lot of service agents which can help you get them in advance if you don't want to do it at the border. If you're in Thailand or Vietnam, you can find a Cambodian visa agent and they will take care of this for you in-house. You'll probably just give them your passport. They'll disappear somewhere and they'll bring it back with a visa in it. And conversely, if you're going to Vietnam or to Laos, you can do this the same way. As far as getting around Cambodia, you have a couple options. You're probably going to fly into Phnom Penh. That's the central airport of the country, the biggest city, and the #1 entrance point for most travelers. If you're going by bus, there are lots of options, and you can go from Bangkok by bus from Thailand, you can go from the southern part of Laos, and of course from Ho Chi Minh to the east in Vietnam. Getting around the country is going to require a lot of bus travel, as trains are sort of out of service as they haven't kept them up since colonial French times, and internal flights are a no-go. The good news with the bus travel is that the buses are pretty comfortable, relatively cheap, and pretty efficient. The best way to do bus travel is to ask your hostel or hotel to book the bus for you, or to direct you where to go to the central bus station where you can handle it there. Moving into the language section now, Cambodia itself is not the easiest linguistic country to get around in, and this extends to the transportation, because sometimes you can go to bus stations and nothing is written in Latin letters, because they use their own Khmer letters to write their own language. The language itself is something similar to Thai and to Lao. It's in that sort of Southeast Asian language family. For foreigners, it's incredibly challenging because if there are no pictures on the menu, or if there's no pictures of what you're looking for, or no Latin translations, you are pretty much unable to read it unless you've, of course, taken Khmer language for some reason before landing in Cambodia, which I'm probably sure you haven't. But don't let that be a barrier because, of course, there are many travelers who go to Cambodia, many foreigners who live there, and many locals who also speak English or other languages. I've found the best way to get around the country and to actually see the real Cambodia is actually hiring a motorbike, or you can hire a driver to drive you around. It's a little bit dangerous and definitely buy travel insurance if you're going to do it, but driving motorbikes in Southeast Asia is always the way to go. You can really get out there, you can see the real people, you can drive through these small villages, and you can get off the beaten path, which is, I think, my favorite part of Southeast Asia. It extends to the language, you can practice the words you've learned, you can order the food names that you've learned, and it's just like the coolest experience. There's nothing like riding a motorbike in Southeast Asia. Just take precautions, always wear long sleeves, and drive at a, pretty safe speed. That would be my recommendation. So now let's talk about safety. And for most travelers who go to Southeastern Asia, it may be one of the safest places that you'll travel to in your whole life. The one thing that Cambodia is kind of known for is robbery, specifically pickpocketing and stealing purses and backpacks off of tuk-tuks. You can see this actually in Phnom Penh when you arrive. You'll probably take a tuk-tuk, which is like a small, sort of like a moped with like seats in the back, like a carriage or a rickshaw. And unlike Thailand, which is normally open on the sides, you'll see in Cambodia that they actually have like little fences built because a lot of people on motorbikes can just grab your bags off of the tuk-tuk while you're driving, or grab your wallet or your purse or something off the tuk-tuk or off a motorbike, and they get away. There's pretty much nothing you can do, and the Cambodian police certainly are not going to help you. That being said, the other thing to look for in Cambodia is getting scammed. Check the prices of things before you pay for them. Always ask basic questions, and if the deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. And as a rule of thumb for all the countries in Southeast Asia, the police aren't necessarily there to help you. Some are, some aren't, and so some scams are present, and there's not really much recourse you can take besides going and sitting in a police station saying someone stole $400 from me, and they say, okay, sorry, too bad, can't help you. The best thing to do is ask questions, ask other people, and of course ask locals at your hotel or your hostel. So now on to food, my favorite section. Khmer food is incredibly delightful. They have all of these crossroads of flavors coming from east like Vietnam and China, coming from Laos and Thailand, and even north from Malaysia and Indonesia. With the entire southern part of Cambodia sitting directly on the ocean and having large rivers and drainage basins running directly through the country, number one is you get awesome access to fish, and you see this most in one of their most famous dishes called fish amok, which is sort of like a curry fish normally served with rice. You see the use of rice heavily throughout the entire cuisine as rice paddies dominate the main agricultural sector of Cambodia. They have really awesome meat dishes influenced from China and from Vietnam, as well as other Thai-style curries and noodle dishes that you would find more towards the west. Cambodia is really a crossroads cuisine, so many beautiful things to have, and for me, the Khao Tiao noodles are probably my favorite dish in Cambodia, so if you have the option to have that, definitely get it. Don't forget that they also have a little bit of French cuisine, so you can see Cambodians drinking coffee and eating croissants in the morning, or eating something like a banh mi, which is of course a baguette stuffed with Asian-style meats, spices, and flavors. Absolutely delightful. Order 1 or 3. And finally, we're on to things to do in Cambodia. I'm going to give you a list of some of my favorites in no descript order. Me, totally, I've probably spent about a month of my life in Cambodia, traveling a couple different trips, so I've done a couple different things, and these are some of my highlights of what I've done. Number 1 is you can go to a city called Kampot, which is really good for travelers and expats, as there's like a nice community there. There they have access to a really nice agricultural region which specializes in peppercorn production. You can go and see these farms where they grow peppercorns, some of the best in the world. You can try delicious local food. You can rent a motorbike and go through the Cambodian countryside. It's a really fantastic area to see real Cambodian culture and life in a place that's not so busy like Phnom Penh. Next, we'll talk about the Angkor Wat, which is probably why you're watching this video anyway, and something you'll definitely do when you're in Cambodia. The Angkor Wat is mysterious. It's got this vibe that you can't really explain until you're there. It's got trees growing through old temples. It's got ancient mysteries and all that good stuff. I love the Angkor Wat. When you go to the Angkor Wat, you can buy a ticket. You can do 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, but I would actually recommend doing 2 days to ensure that you have enough time to really explore the site without getting burnt out the first day. The one thing you're going to really want to see is either the sunrise or the sunset. I would say do both. They're both phenomenal things to do there, and the views are incredible. Just be aware that this is a very touristy place, and this is one of the most touristed places by Chinese tourists outside of China. So that means you're going to have tour buses coming in 9 in the morning. So you're going to want to get up and beat the Chinese tour buses. If you're in with the Chinese tour buses, it's going to ruin your time. And this is why you're going to want to buy a 2-day ticket, because from 9 a.m. till about 3 p.m., the whole complex is full of tourists. But if you have the time and a little bit of flexibility, you can get there before the tourists come and you can stay after the tourists leave. The way that a lot of travelers do the Angkor Wat is you actually hire a local driver in the city of Siem Reap, which sits right outside of the Angkor Wat. It's sort of your launching point. And from there, you can go in with your driver and he'll spend the day with you. He'll be there as long as you want, as long as you pay the guy. So rent the guy for a couple days. There's people all over Siem Reap trying to rent you their tuk-tuk service to take you around. Just be aware that the prices can be inflated, so make sure to ask your hotel or your hostel how much it should cost for a day price. Don't pay the guy $150 a day unless you want to give him a nice tip, and maybe he would enjoy that. Up to you. So Piers, what about Phnom Penh? Well, Phnom Penh has some nice things. They have really nice temples, they have the sort of Grand Palace, they have a really nice access to the Mekong River. I will not say Phnom Penh is my favorite place in the world. It's sort of like a worse version of Bangkok in my opinion. It's dirtier, there's less to do, and it's a little bit more seedy. That being said, spend a couple days, there are good things to do. This is also a place where you can get to know the genocide history, which is really important to the culture, and they have a lot of different bits and bobs that you can do in this major city because it is the capital. What I would recommend, and what's definitely worth it as a last stop if you have time, is to go to a city called Sihanoukville. You can go there, it's right on basically on the Pacific Ocean. You can rent a boat and you can go to one of 3 various islands. The islands in this region sort of resemble the Maldives. They're really beautiful, small local islands. A lot of weird expat people out there doing weird expat things. I can't really comment on that, but if you're looking for a place to chill on the beach, to enjoy a little bit of relaxation in your quest through Southeast Asia, this is a good part to do it in. Sihanoukville also has pretty fun nightlife, and you can meet a lot of different people to travel with while you're there, and then you can island hop through the different ocean islands that they have on offer. To finish the video, we're going to do love and hate for Cambodia. I love Cambodian food. I love Cambodian culture. I love the Buddhist influence that spans the entire country in such an interesting way. I love getting lost in the more local parts of Cambodia, driving through this very tropical, very beautiful landscape with reasonably friendly people. The things that I don't love about Cambodia, and that I think a lot of travelers will also say, is that Cambodia can be sketchy at times. And number 2 is that Cambodia has a lot of children who are working. Now, for Western travelers, that can be very unsettling, and you're going to want to give these children money. But please don't. A lot of these children are working for sort of cartels, and it's an abuse thing. So if you want to donate money or help children in Cambodia, find an orphanage or an organization that uses the money properly. Do not give money directly to begging children, whether it's in a city, whether if they're working at X, Y, and Z. It's just something you have to get used to in Cambodia, and it hurts the heart a little bit, but there are organizations that help these people. So that's one part that's a little bit tough, and it's just the reality of life in Cambodia. Rough country for many people, as there's not a lot of economic opportunity besides tourism, and not everybody is as connected to that as well as they should be. So that being said, I hope you enjoy your exploration to Cambodia. It's a wonderful place. It's a very unique country with a lot to offer. And it's not a place to sleep on a trip to Thailand or to Vietnam. And maybe it's just a destination place that you're going to go to solely. And that's pretty cool. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I cooked a dish from Cambodia on my Project 197. I did something called beef lok lak, which is like shaking beef, a nice beef dish with soy and those cam pot peppercorns that I was telling you about. If you have any questions related to a trip to Cambodia, you're taking a trip and you'd like to have some advice, you can contact me in my email below. And if not, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.